Hello, everybody, and welcome to Safer Internet Day 2026. The time has come, everybody. Welcome, one and all. Welcome, welcome. Do leave a few comments if you're here with us. Give us a shout out. We'll give you a shout out. Everyone gets a shout out. So it's not too many of you, and then it just becomes absolutely overwhelming. But the quicker you get them in, the quicker you'll get them. Now you'll see that I am on my own today. Mr. Jones is over in Ceredigion in Wales and delivering some sessions there. So I'm at the helm. You'll be pleased to know. It'll be less chaotic, probably higher quality, maybe a little bit less bands, but that's okay. Right, okay, what do we need to know? Well, let's go through the rules first. First rule of Adobe Express Live Lessons is you can pause it whenever you want, particularly if you're on YouTube. StreamYard, not so much. StreamYard is sometimes the only option for people though, so I get that. But you can pause it whenever you want, catch up on things. We're going to be taking it nice and chilled. But if you do need to pause at any time, that's absolutely fine. Also, if you want to get your certificates for this session today to hand out to your students, to your pupils, you can see that one first, right there. Register for this session, adobe.ly/live lessons. Right. Oh, yeah. And the rule that we always forget because we think it's obvious, but maybe it's not always obvious, is you do need to be logged in to Adobe Express, whether that's on your laptop or whether that's on your desktop or whether that's on your iPad. You do need to be logged into Adobe Express. So do make sure that you are on there. Right. Activity page. You need to get that open as well. This handy seems to be the best one today. Activity page is adobe.ly/SID, Safer Internet Day 2026. Get that open. That's very useful today. A lot of finger wagging today. Very useful today. So make sure you've got that open because it looks a little bit like, which is the one I need to do, this one. Okay, here we go. So the theme of Safer Internet Day 2026 is safe and responsible use of AI. Now, if you're on an iPad and you don't want to type this in, you can open up your camera app and scan it over that QR code thingy-majiggy, and then it will open up a little yellow pop-up, which you can tap, and it will take you straight through to this page. Okay, let's have a little look-see at what we're going to be doing today. So let's have a little scroll down. Activity 1, guided explainer video. Now, you can see that this got a button here. Now, stop 1 second. Stop, just hold it. This is a button which is useful for people on laptops who are on the browser, okay, who are doing Express through the browser. If you're on an iPad, I will show you a different way to do this, okay? So just hang fire for now. But the first activity is a guided activity explainer video. Now, guided activities work in that they give you little prompts, little tips on the side, very good for going back later and trying to work out, oh, how do I do this and how do I do that? They are very, very good for that. Okay. Now, what are we going to be doing? We're going to be changing colors and text. Of course we are. We're going to be replacing images. We're going to be using generative AI. We're going to be adding a soundtrack. We'll be doing much more than that. We're going to be cropping things. We're going to be removing backgrounds. We're going to be... What else are we doing? Yeah, all sorts of stuff. We'll find out, won't we? Now, suggested text for the theme safe and responsible use of AI is down here. Now, again, if you're on a browser, then it's very easy for you to copy and paste this kind of stuff. If you're not, then you've got text for iPad users. Now, this button is good for text for iPad users. If you click that, it will open up this page here, which is exactly the same stuff. There we go. Got to remember to keep sharing the right tab. I'm not necessarily always good at that. But yes, all the same stuff is here. So make sure you've got that open too. Let's go back. So if we're going to get on with kind of these activity 1 now, Then you've got your explain a video activity. This button here, give it a click if you're on a laptop, if you're on the browser. Okay, if you're on the browser, give it a click. Otherwise, what you are going to do is, if you're on an iPad, for example, and you can do this on the browser as well, that's absolutely fine, is you're going to look down the left-hand side here, and you're going to go to the Learn tab. You see the Learn tab just here? Give that a click. Okay, now across the top. Now, there's all sorts of really useful useful things in here, tutorials and things like that. But the one that you need is this one, guided activities. This is for iPad people in particular. Everyone can get through to it this way. And there's all sorts of guided activities which you might like to use here in your classroom. Very, very useful. But the one that we're using today is towards the bottom. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. This one here. It's flashing, 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 flashing. Create and explain a video. That's the one that you need, okay? You need to create and explain a video. That's the one that you need. Right, okay, so what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to click on that. I was just checking that our stream is going well. It does seem to be going well. I'm going to click on create and explain a video, and I'm going to click on it just here, and it's going to open this up here. Okay. So this is what we're going to be working on. Okay. Now we're going to assume that everyone's got the activity page open. It's down the bottom there if you need it. And we're going to start messing around with this text and these images and all this kind of stuff. Right. Okay. So the first thing you know that I always do is, why does it look like? Let me just check something here. No, I think we're good. If anyone can't see my screen, just let me know in the comments. I think everybody's okay. I'm just checking. Right. Okay. So we've got our page up here. Now, the first rule of anything that I do, apart from if you're on the iPad, of course, is give it a title. So SID 2026 live. I'll call it that. Okay. So we've got this project here. Okay. Now, there's only one scene in it. You can see down the bottom here, and you've got all sorts of controls here. You know, if you want to make this scene look shorter, it doesn't actually make it shorter. It's just zooming in and out, so it's a little bit bigger or smaller. I'm going to put it around about there, something like that. Okay, so you've got one scene, and we're going to duplicate this many times. I'm not going to duplicate it now. I'm just going to duplicate it many times over the course of this this session. Now, on the left-hand side, you can see here you've got instructions. Now, you don't need those because you're here with me. Okay, so I'm going to go to the X here and get rid of those. Gives us a little bit more space, and I can also see my layers very easily, which is great. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start thinking about, right, what do I want this to be? Now, the first thing is, do I like this green? Not sure I do like that green, if I'm completely honest. Now, on the browser version, you've got your edit page button here. If you're using the iPad, just above where you'll see this edit page on my screen, you will have a ribbon across the top. I want to change the colors on this. I'm not impressed with the colors so far. So I'm going to go to edit page, but you can just click that little green square if you're on an iPad. Yeah, and it looks very similar to this one here. I'm going to change the color. I think maybe go to this kind of blue, maybe that kind of blue, maybe this. Oh, that one's perfect. Okay, so easy enough to change the background color. That's great. Now, in this, did you know? I'm going to click it there. You can see that it's kind of been highlighted by the box there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to triple click in there, and I'm going to put Safer Internet Day 2026. Okay, now that's just kind of spilled out down the page. I'm not particularly impressed with that. And you know what I like. You know what I like on these live lessons. So I'm going to go to text layouts, and I'm going to go to dynamic. Boom. Nice. I'm going to keep the font the same. I'm happy with that. Maybe I'll scooch it up a bit. You can play around with, moving it out like that. Maybe something like that. That's the beauty of dynamic text. The only problem with that is it makes it a little bit, the size doesn't work out so well. Maybe I'll keep it as chunky as it was before. And I'm using when I'm moving it around, I'm looking at those alignment tools. You see the pink alignment lines there, and I'm just going to make sure that, there we go. Nice, that's there. Now, if you're like, do you know what, I would like this to be a wider box, there's a very easy way to do that. On the left-hand side here, you'll be able to see your 3 little dots just underneath all of your kind of text controls here. Give that a click, and then open up the letter spacing. There we go. That looks pretty cool. Now you can go in and change fonts and things like that, and you're more than welcome to go ahead and do that if you like. But I'm going to keep it the same. I think they've chosen a good one here. Now, down here with fact 1, it says replace this text with your first fact. Well, I've just got like, I'm just going to triple click it. 1, 2, 3, come on. Sometimes it's a bit funny. Sometimes it's easier to click and drag over the whole thing. That's easier. I'm going to put safe. I've used ampersand instead of and. Responsible use of AI. Now, maybe I'll capitalize all of them in there. Now, because there's a much smaller amount of text in this box, I can just use my plus here and just make it chunky. Okay, now that's going to 3 lines, which I'm not into. But I could, I guess, keep it coming up if I move the box out a bit. Yeah, I mean, I could always go to text layouts and make that dynamic as well. But I think in terms of the hierarchy, in terms of, you want your title to be chunky and bold, and then underneath, I think you probably don't want that. So don't forget, you've always got the back button here. Always got the back button. Right, there we go, that's better. And maybe I'll stretch out. There we go, that's absolutely fine. Okay, now, what else are we cracking on with here? Well, this light bulb has got nothing to do with AI, has it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click it. Now, you could replace it, but there's a reason why I'm not going to replace that, and it's because this has actually been turned upside down. So I'm just going to delete it. And then what you'll see is it also had this kind of flex, this line coming down. So I'll delete that as well. Safe and responsible use of AI. So I want to put in some kind of image, something in there which represents, AI. So if you're on an iPad, you will have things like media, elements, charts, and grids, like you can see here. You'll have them all down the left-hand side here. They'll all be there. If you're not like that and you're on a browser like me, you go to add content, and I think I'm going to go to elements. And I think probably I'm going to go for design assets here, and I'll put AI and see if it just has AI. Oh, cool. Okay. So let's have a look through these and see what we got. Something that's, interesting enough. There are, this one, what's that? Oh, cool. The robot. I mean, everyone talks about robots and things like that. Seen any robots recently? I haven't. Maybe not quite so much like that. Now, you see the way that he's pointing like that? I kind of want that to be into my Safer Internet Day. So the easy way to do that is, if you've got nothing selected, go and select it. And then down on the left-hand side here, you've got position. Give that a click. Now, what you're wanting to do is you're wanting to flip this horizontally, like that, something like that. Where'd it go? It's gone. It hasn't gone. Let's flip it again. It's gone over to the other side of this box here. So if I then bring that box in, boom. Pretty cool, hey? Maybe I'll make him a bit bigger. Nice. I like that. That's worked out quite well. That's worked out very well indeed. Okay, now if maybe that's not the one you want to do. Yeah. What else could you put in there? Let's have a look. Add content, elements, AI. I mean that one's just slightly terrifying. Don't want that one. Delete it. Go back to elements again. What other things could I put in there? Let's have a look. That's quite cool. I like that badge. That's pretty cool. So that kind of thing would be good. Now, if you bring something in there like that, maybe to get it to the size you want, it's kind of hiding your text. This is where you might want to, kind of shift all of your things over. So, bring that over, bring this over, bring that over, and it means you've got a bit more space. There you go, something like that. And you can pop that in, pop it there. Maybe even the line needs to come over a little bit more. Now I'm struggling with selecting my line here because this AI shield is in front of it. If you have a similar problem to that, the easiest thing to do is go over and select it in your layers. These are your layers on the right hand side. So I can select that now quite easily, bring it over, maybe bring this over. I've got to be careful there with how big that text is. Yeah, something like that. There you go. Nicely done. Okay, now that's your first slide, right? So we're going to keep this. What we're going to do in activity 1 is we're going to keep this kind of fairly static in terms of we're not going to necessarily put like a voiceover on or anything like that. We're going to build up some slides, and then for the second part of this, we're then going to be adding things like voiceover. We're going to be adding things like self-recorded video. You may even put in animated character as well. There's lots of AI being used in all of those as well. So that's your first one. That's your first slide done. Okay. Let's now look at, let's go to this tab. Okay. So in your Safer Internet Day activity page, you'll have seen the text for iPad users. If you're not on an iPad, you can just grab it from here, like this one here. You can just grab that, easy peasy. But for the rest of this session, I'm going to use this one so that both iPad users and browser users can see what I'm copying and pasting. But you don't have to come here if you're on a browser. Okay, so let's go back to here. I've made my first slide. Okay, it's worked out well. Okay, what I'm going to do here is you can see down at the bottom here, and this is the same for you. Actually, if you're on an iPad, you actually need to touch the scene, give it a click in order to see these 3 little dots here. It won't come up as default. You'll need to give it a little touch. Okay, so 3 dots there, and you can go duplicate. Now you've got scene number 2. Now, don't forget, in the bottom here, you'll see that you're on a certain level of zoom. Okay, so this is starting to disappear off the end of the page for me, which is a little bit annoying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this slider down. Cool. There we go. Because I'm going to have probably like 4 or 5 scenes in this. Yeah. So, oh yeah, that was another thing I should have showed you actually. Like when you using this, there's already pre-made animation, like text animation, stuff like that, which is pretty cool. So I'm just using those again. Okay, right. What's the next? So we've got this next slide here. Now, in the first slide, what we did was we changed the background color of the slide. All right. You can do that by going to Edit Page. If you're on an iPad, you will have it at the ribbon at the top. I'm going to make each one of my scenes, I'm going to make it a different color. So I'm going to go to color, and then I think this kind of coral one is pretty cool. What I don't like is how this green interacts with it. In fact, it's absolutely shocking. So before I go and change text and stuff like that, I'm going to select these things, choose a new color. What would work well with this kind of coral red? Maybe like, yeah, maybe that purple would work. That's fine. You can, of course, ooh, Now that I put on the text, I'm like, no, that does not work. Oh yeah, the yellow works perfectly. Let's go in there. It was that one, wasn't it? Cool. Right. Now, of course, if you are changing colors, you can always go in and use custom colors. I'm just using the swatches because it's just easier, really. Now, I changed the color in that. Didn't want to do it. Don't forget, the back button is always there, whether you're on, no matter what you're on. And if you're on the iPad, then you've also got those back buttons there as well. Okay. Now, I don't need two slides with the same type of text on there. So what I'll do is I'll go here. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things that you can choose from. I'm probably going to choose 3 here. All right. I think this first one is definitely important. Keep your information private. You definitely don't want to be sharing any kind of information with any sort of, any sort of AI platform, any sort of AI bots or anything like that. You don't want to be doing anything like that. So keep your information private. So I'm going to copy that first, that keep your information private. Copy there. And then if I go back to my video project, I'm going to triple click in here. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And then just paste in my new piece of text. Now, this is why I love dynamic text. That's why it's just my favorite thing ever, because it's making everything easy for me. Now, what I might do is I might, we did this before in the first scene. The 3 dots down here, increase the line spacing, bring it down here. There we go, somewhere like there, just to make it kind of match the line on the left. This kind of yellow line that we've got here. I thought it'd be quite cool just to match it up there, which is great. Keep your information private. Right, now I'm going to go back to this tab. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click and drag over this next bit. Copy. If you're on the iPad, it'll be a double tap, maybe on the first word that you want. And then it'll just be using the blue kind of, what would you call them? Grab handles to just extend that over to where you need it to be. Okie dokie. So I've got that one, I've copied it, and then I'm going to go back here, and in safe and responsible use of AI, I'll triple click in there and paste. Now there's a lot more text in here, a lot more text. So this is where I'm going to be using you can just grab the handles. That's easy. You can do that if you want. And then you can also stretch the box out. I don't know why I kind of prefer to do, not sure why I prefer to do the plus and minus sometimes. I feel like slightly more control, I think. But that is pretty cool. That's worked out really well. Okay. Now, keep your information private. Don't share your full name, address, phone number, or passwords online. Okay. So this kind of shield that we have on here, this does not work for this anymore. So let's have a think. I'm gonna delete this, and then maybe I'll go to add content. Again, if you're on the iPad, you'll have things like media, you'll have things like elements on the left-hand side. We've got them all under add content now. Go to elements, design assets, maybe like wallet, keys, phone. They're the kind of, yeah, the problem is I put all 3 things in there. Well, what you could do is you could put like wallets. That was cool. So I could, what am I going to use? Bitcoins. This one, my wallet never looks like this. I wish it did. Wallets. So there's one thing. And then I could go back to elements again. Wallets, keys. The reason why I'm doing this is because I want to sort of say these are all the things that are private to you. You know what I mean? These are all the things that get you access to your home. The things you want to buy, maybe like bank cards and stuff like that. Not that maybe everyone's got bank cards, but I'm sure a lot of you do have bank cards. And then maybe I'll put add content elements, and I'll go for phone, something like that. That one's cool. The reason why I like this one here is because the color is quite striking. So if I put that in there, yeah, I'm just got to think about where it's going to go, I suppose. Just moving these around. With these keys, it has actually got like almost exactly the same red as the other one. So maybe I'll replace that. So you can click it and then go down to design assets, and I'll go keys again. Maybe I'll look for something which is a little bit, which isn't going to create such kind of confusion in terms of colors. That one's got some red on it as well. Some really old school keys here. There was some good ones at the top, actually. Maybe that one's a bit better, isn't it? Yeah, that's better. So keep your information private, just as you would your like phone or your keys or your wallet. Keep all of that private. You don't want to be giving that out to anybody. Right, that's cool. I kind of want to play around with size of things and where they sit and stuff like that, how they're overlapping. This one here, maybe you can just use the rotate handle there. With that one. So if you're wanting to put things on top of each other, you can do it in the layer stack very easy. So I want the keys to be on top of the phone. It's a bit better. Didn't actually make it do it. There we go, that's better. Let me, rotate that a bit. Yeah, cool. That all works out quite nicely. Quite happy with that. Right, so that's my second slide done. Now, same as what we did before. You want to be going down to the 3 dots. Don't forget on the iPad, you're going to want to tap the scene so that you can see these 3 dots. And then let's go duplicate again. And you'll see when you duplicate it, at first, only the objects are in there. Yeah. Now we will mess around with things like that in a bit. So yeah, don't worry about that. We will mess around with them. But you've essentially just duplicated, so you've got a third scene now. So you should be quicker now at understanding what it is that we're doing here. So the first thing I'm going to do is change the background color again. Maybe I'll go back to the kind of green that we had. Now that is absolutely shocking for the text that we've got in here. So let's click. Oh, that was, it's because it was on a certain point of the timeline. That was all. I mean, the green actually works quite well, doesn't it? The green on the yellow. But just so that we've got something different on every page, I think I'll have to change that text color. Let's change that to no, green and red, white. That works. That works really nicely. So I changed them both to white, I think. There we go. Beautiful job. Now, what is going to be in this one? Now you are welcome to choose whichever ones you want. Now I think the other two I'm going to do is think before you believe. AI can make mistakes. This is so true. Like AI is great for like summarizing and giving you quick facts, but I wouldn't be sort of basing your life around it. It's kind of just scraping information off the internet. If it scrapes the wrong kind of information, it's not going to give you the right answer, is it? So I'm triple clicking. I'm going to pop that in there. Think before you believe. That's not bad. Yeah, that works well. And then I'll go back to here again. AI can make mistakes, check facts, and ask questions if something seems wrong. So let's copy that. There we go. Go back to here again. Click the box, triple click it, paste, and stretch that out. There we go. That works well. I'm not too bothered about making that much smaller. I think that's really good. Now, all of these keys, wallet, phone, that kind of thing, I think I'll delete that. Okay, right. So you can just go and find an image, for example, but let's have some fun with some AI. This is safe and responsible use of AI. So let's go to add content and media. You just click on media if you're on the iPad, and it will come here and you've got generate image. Okay, let's go to generate image here. Let's go to portrait because I want it to kind of stand in this kind of section on the left-hand side, like the others have. Let's go to portrait. Describe what you'd like to see. Okay, so I'm going to put a boy in uniform, or maybe put school uniform, looking inquisitively at a robot standing next to him. Let's get the spellings right. I want it to be like, you know, he's kind of looking at the robot going, are you talking any sense there? I'm not sure that actually makes any sense. Okay, next to him. And maybe I'll put like white background. The reason why is because I want to use AI that's in Express to actually remove the background so it sort of blends in really nicely onto this scene. Okay, let's keep the content type as art. That's absolutely fine. Let's go to generate. Okay, let's see what we get here. Let's pop it roughly in the right position. Now, don't forget, you know, you want to make sure that you're fairly specific with your prompts. Some of these are crazy. This first one's definitely the best, although that one's pretty good as well. The reason why I like this first one is because if I remove the background on this, it's going to give me a really nice kind of easy image there. So let's say yes to that one, I think. Now, the way that you say yes to it is just by clicking in the gray area. Okay, all you have to do is click in the gray area. So I'm going to just click, and that commits it. And then when I click on it again, I'll be able to go around to background Babs. There she is. Hello, Babs. Background Babs in top left with the sunglasses on, and remove background. And that's going to give me a nice clean image, which is going to sit within this slide. Beautiful. Easy. Now that's AI. That is using artificial intelligence in order to identify what is the main subject. In this case, it's the boy and the robot. You know, that is it. That is a use of AI. It's not just all about, you know, ChatGPT. Okay, there we go. Think before you believe. Nice. Let's have a look at the time. Cool. I think we'll do one more. So, and I think I'll use AI again. Now, you totally can move your scenes around. You can touch on the iPad, just touch it, and then there we go. If you touch it on the iPad, hold it for a second or two, then you can put it into a different place. Very easy to do. I think I'll put that first one there, just to show you how to do that. And now I can duplicate any of these. So maybe I'll duplicate this last one. Tap on it. 3 dots. Duplicate. And here, what are we going to do? I think for this one, I'll do, what have I done so far? Let me just check. Save for internet day. Think before you keep your information private. Yeah, this one here, I think. Tell an adult if something feels wrong. This one. Come on. What are you doing? There you go. Tell an adult if something feels wrong. Always the best advice. Let's go here. So now I'm in my fourth scene. Triple click on my text. Paste in my new text. You can use Command and C, Control and C, Control and V. You can also use it here as well. Paste and match style. I'm going to paste and match it in. Now that's gone a little bit higher. Maybe I'll just make it a bit bigger. And then we've done this a couple of times now. 3 dots down here. Increase the line spacing. There we go. That looks good to me. Happy with that. I haven't changed the colors yet. I know that I haven't changed the colors. Maybe I'll get my text in first. So what's underneath that? If you see something scary, mean, or confusing, tell a trusted grown-up. There we go. Copy that text. Go back in here. Triple click there. Paste in. Now don't forget on the iPad, you know, when it opens up your keyboard, you have like the 3 icons along the top. and you can just use the last one on the right. That's the one you want. That one in terms of size looks fine. Yeah, maybe just make it a little bit more aligned to the box at the top. I mean, if you think the box at the top is too much, you can also go into the 3 dots and reduce the letter spacing. That's something you can do as well. All sorts of things you can do there. Right, let's, before I change my icons, well, not icons or design, assets, what I'm going to do is change the color of the page, down here on the browser, up here on the iPad, go to the color, and let's change it to purple. Yeah, that's pretty good, actually. Now, the text, I do want it to be different from yellow now. So the text here, what am I going to choose? An orange? No, absolutely not. No, no, no. Sometimes you can just go through them and it just, you know immediately if it's any good or not. None of these are really good, are they? In fact, the yellow is definitely the best. Black. Maybe I'll just go white again on this, actually. White, yeah. Don't mind repeating the white. There we go. Perfect. And then all of these things in here, don't want those. Let's have a think. What am I going to put in here? Well, I could go to add content. I could go to media. So I'll do generate image again. I'll use generative AI. And I'll put portrait is good because it fits my space. Don't forget that. Let's put girl in school, uniform, looking scared, sitting at a desk, something like that. Let's generate that. And then, I didn't put like white background on, did I? I wonder if this is going to be easier or harder for generative AI to actually remove the background. They don't look very scared, do they? Looking scary. Oh, looking scary. Maybe I should have been looking scared. And maybe upset, sitting at a desk. And maybe I will put white background. It doesn't always give you a white background. Often it gives you a background which is easier to remove. So let's generate that. As always with these, with some AI stuff, a lot of it is, very open source, and you do want to be making sure that you're using something that is trusted, for example, something that's got guardrails on. Otherwise, you don't know what you're getting sometimes. So let's have a look at that. That's better. Yeah, that's cool. That fourth one's great. And then what I'll do is I'll click in the gray and then click back on this generated image and do the remove background thing again. This is going to be easy peasy, I think. Oh, yeah, that's great. I think I'll change the color of this text as well. Maybe I'll change that to white. Yeah, fine. I didn't do it on my second one, actually. Oh, do you know what? In terms of where this sits, maybe I would like to move all of this over. Move that over a bit. Move that over a bit. Move that over a bit. That's better. This one here, maybe I'll change that to white as well. Easy peasy. Right. So I've got 4 scenes in here now. Yeah. Right. Okay. Now, if I give that a quick play, let's just check what happened with. You see, if I use my playhead, what you'll see is that there's a lot of stuff coming in, but the AI badge is just there on its own. Not sure. Do I want that? I don't mind it, actually. Kind of gives some people something to look at. But anyway, let me show you if you wanted to. You could click it, and then you can go to animation here, and in terms of in, you could always fade in. Yeah, a quick fade in, maybe something like that. So it's the first thing that goes on there. That's absolutely fine. But also, yeah, I'll do it for all of them, I think. I'm going to click it, and then you'll be here first. So you'll need to go to animation. And I think I'm going to just click fade. Now, I don't mind whatever presets in there is absolutely fine. Not bothered. Just as long as it fades in a little bit, that's absolutely fine. Now here is a little bit different because we've got 1 element, 2 elements, 3 elements. Okay, so here I'm going to click on 1, fade, click on the next one, fade, click on that one, fade. Now, because I'm not messing around with the settings, because you can click the slider again and change the duration and stuff like that, they'll all be exactly the same, and that's absolutely fine. I'll go to my 4th scene here with someone looking scared. I'll click fade on that as well. Perfect. Okay, let's give it a quick play. Okay, now they're all by default 5 seconds long. That's absolutely fine. I think if you have a think yourself, see if that is that enough time for you to read the information that's on there? Not too bad, I think. But if you did want to change it, you can just click and drag, and you can see that the time is changing in the bottom left of this scene. It could be that you're like, I think they need 7 seconds to read this. And so I'm on 7 seconds there. You can, if I zoom in, can you see it? It's a bit of a pain sometimes. You can't see it if you're actually on the scene. You see, look, that's 7 seconds down there. Now, one new thing you can do is click the 3 dots here, and you can see it says apply duration to all. That is going to give every single scene within your project a length of 7 seconds. Click, boom, easy. Easy peasy. You can do them all manually. It's just easier to do apply to all. So if I wanted to, just to show you that again, the 3 dots. Oh, hang on. No, I need to. So I could change this one to 6 seconds. And you're like, not 7 seconds, 6 seconds, what they need. Go to the 3 dots after you've done that. Apply duration to all. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I actually think they probably do need 8 seconds. So I'm going to put it back to 8 seconds here. 3 dots. Apply duration to all. Perfect. Did I just do that to 8? I thought I did it to 8. Maybe I said 7. Can't even remember now. It's my senior years. Apply to all. Right, they're all 8 seconds there. That's perfect. Okay. Now, let's just check on the time. Okay, cool. So, what are we going to do here? Well, at the moment, there's kind of no sound on it whatsoever. There's no sound on it whatsoever. So, you can see down the bottom here, it says add audio. So, let's do that. Let's add the audio. And what it'll do is it'll give you kind of an audio library to look at. I mean, the background is a good one. Everyone knows a little bit of lo-fi. Oh, that's unexpected. Search the background, lo-fi. Where are we? Oh, do you know what? It's got more ones than I used to know. Ah, okay. Wonder if you're hearing the sound that I can hear actually. Let me give this a quick. Oh, there we go. Chili Village. Like that one. Cool. Now, the one thing you've got to make sure, if I go back here, when you do add audio, don't forget that you need to look down the bottom here. How long is your video? This is 32 seconds. So whatever I choose in terms of my soundtrack, it must be longer than 32 seconds. So this inspiring trip hop is only 21 seconds. That's not going to work for me. Doesn't matter how good it is. So Chili Village it is. Okay, nice. What else are we going to do here? Well, we're going to pop in a transition between slides. So the plus in between your scenes, give it a plus. Let's go to add transition. Dip to white, no. Dissolve. Oh, nice, dissolve, because it will dissolve from one color to another. So I like that. I'm going to click it, and then I'm going to say apply to all scenes, the same way that we did our duration. Remember that? Duration of scenes, we did apply to all scenes. We'll do apply to all scenes for the transition as well. And now let's have a little listen. Oh, one thing I forgot to do on the audio track. If you're a regular user, you'll know. Click on your audio track. Fading in, don't need to really fade in, but you do need to fade it out so it doesn't kind of just drop off a cliff at the end. So let's fade it out. Duration 2 seconds. That sounds great. Okay, bring this back to the start. Let's have a look. That's the transition. Nice. Transition. And now we're looking to see if it drops off at the end. Perfect. That's nice. You can change the fade out duration. And then maybe you want it to fade out so people have a more of a warning. Maybe you want to bring the volume down to like pretty booming soundtrack. So let's bring it down to about 50, something like that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. Right, so that's it. You're done there. That is, you know, a very sort of clean, simple presentation on safe and responsible use of AI. Now, if you're in the position where you're like, you know, that's ready for me to, you know, for me to lock and load on that, it's all done, you can download it. I imagine that your school probably would rather you didn't download it because it will just take up space on your machines. But if you do, 720 is enough. Make sure the file format's in MP4 and you can download it there. There we go. If you did actually want to download these as slides, you can change the file format to like PNG, JPEG, or PDF or whatever. And then, you know, you could put them up as a display. That's dead easy to do as well. But you also have the ability to click share here. And then you can send it to Google Drive, OneDrive, Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, or you can go to this view only link, and then you can just press create link at the bottom, and that will create a URL which you can share with whoever you like. Okay, so you've now created that video. Now the second activity here is to take that video and make it chef's kiss. That's what we're going to do next. Just show you that it's going to make this a URL with videos compared to like static things like infographics and stuff like that. It does take a little bit longer, but there you go. It's just popped out, so that's good. And if you copy that link, you can stick it in a browser, and anyone who you want to see that can see that there. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's go back now to activity 2. Okay, now with activity 2, what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate the video that we've just created. Now the reason we're going to do that is because we're going to start messing around with it. We're going to start pushing the boundaries and seeing what we can, like how much we can layer onto it, what are the different things that we can do. And so there's a bit more involved here. So I don't want to ruin that first video, you know, just in case we make any mistakes or anything like that. I want to say, hey, I completed this activity 1, and there it is. So the way we're going to do it is we're going to be duplicating our video. We're going to be changing things like layout to create more space. We're going to be doing some self-recorded video. We might do some animate character as well. We're going to remove some backgrounds. We're going to be adjusting the soundtrack so your voice can be heard. We're going to be doing all sorts of things on top. So let's go back here. Now I've published this. I showed you there how to publish the link. But now what I want you to do is I want you to, you can press the little down arrow on your timeline here. Yeah, press the little down arrow. And then you've got this little section down here, the 3 dots. If you click it, you've got the option to duplicate it. Yes, you want to duplicate this. Okay, so let's press duplicate. Perfect. Now what you'll see here is that you've now got 2 versions of the same thing. They're exactly the same. And what we're going to do is we're going to go into the second one, and now we'll click on edit timeline here. There we go. And now we can start playing about with what this is all about. You know, how to make this from a really good video into the best video you've ever seen. That's what we're going to do now. So for this first scene here, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a voiceover. Okay, I'm just going to add a voiceover. So in order to do that, if you're on an iPad, you're going to click media on the left hand side. If you're on a browser, you're going to go to add content, media, but everyone's going to navigate to audio. Okay, you're going to navigate to audio. Now on the iPad, if you've not recorded anything before, it might ask you, do you want to allow the microphone? You're going to say yes to that, and we're going to click record voiceover. Now it's very important that your playhead is where you want it to start recording from. That's really important. So get your playhead at the start, then click record voiceover. Okay, now choose, you might only have one option for your microphone. That's absolutely fine. I've got a couple here. I'm going to choose that one because of the setup I've got. Now, if you're in a busy classroom, this toggle here is the most important thing for you to use. Okay, that is the most important thing for you to use, because that is going to mean that you can record at the same time as 10, 100, a million people recording. It will filter out all the noise in the background and just make sure it records your voice. It's incredible. It was actually in Time Magazine's Inventions of 2025. I kid you not. Whether that impresses you or not. Right. So I'm going to click start recording, and I'm just going to read the text that's on here. I'm going to say, welcome to Safer Internet Day 2026. I'm going to say, which is all about safe and responsible use of AI. So let's click start recording. Welcome to Safer Internet Day 2026. Safe and responsible use of AI. Okie dokie. Now you can see down the bottom here, it is actually enhancing the speech for me. Now I'm in a very sort of quiet room here, so I don't really need to do that. But let's have a little look and see what it was like. Let's put it there. Now, I want to call out a couple of things here. If your voiceover, let's pretend that my voiceover is a bit longer, right? It's not a bit longer because I just cut it off just in time. But say like your voiceover extended over your first clip, you might then have to click and drag your first clip to meet the end of it. That would be important, okay? I don't actually need to do that. But if you do, don't forget that you can just click and drag to make these scenes bigger, smaller, whatever you want to do. So mine is just about right, which is good. Now, one thing I did think when I was playing that back, I feel like the music probably needs to go down a touch. So I'm going to click on my audio track, which is the bottom one there. And oh, no, that's my voiceover one. That wouldn't have been good. Voiceover's at 100%, that's good. But my soundtrack is this middle one here, Chili Village. There you go. So I'm going to bring that volume down to about 15, something like that. Because it also kicks in a little bit more if you leave it running. I think it kicks in around about now. Oh no, maybe a bit later. But anyway, 15% on your audio track is a good idea. All right. Now, so that's just like a basic voiceover. Really, really easy to do. Okay. But what I'm going to do now is, where is my thing gone? There it is. What I'm going to do now is get my playhead at the start of the scene again. There you go. They snap, you see. You can snap it. Just play around there. And then what I'm going to do now is, let's have a look here. I'm going to, just making sure that my screen share audio might have gone there. So let me remove, let me add it to the stage again. Hopefully it's going to pick up any audio that maybe wasn't on there. So I'm going to get my playhead in my second scene now. I'm going to do something slightly different here. Think before you believe. Okay, maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it around about here where that think before you believe comes in. And what I'm going to do is add content. Now, if you're on an iPad, just go straight to media, and then you can go to videos, and then you've got down here, record yourself. Give that a click, record yourself. And you can see there I am. Hello. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that this box is like somewhere where it means I can read the text on the screen. Record yourself is great for that. And I'm going to click start recording. And all I'm going to do is AI can make mistakes, check facts, and ask questions if something seems wrong. Okay, so let's start recording. AI can make mistakes, check facts, and ask questions if something seems wrong. Okay, save the recording. Nice. Now, when it comes in, it's going to be massive, absolutely massive, which is no good to anyone. So what we can do with this is, come on, processing media, get on with it. Let's get ahead of the game. Let's start bringing this down to the kind of size that I think I want. I want it roughly around about that size, I think. It doesn't usually take this long to process. I think maybe it's probably better if I do it again. Looking to see if this, I might even need to give my screen a refresh, I guess. In fact, I think I will do that. Sometimes it does give it a kick. Is it in there? Yeah, it's in there. There we go. Nice. Sometimes you do need to give it a kick. Right. So this is me presenting. Let's see. Right. So with this one, the sound seems a little bit kind of tinny, I suppose. So here you can press enhance speech here and it will make it into like podcast studio quality. That's what we're looking for, a bit of podcast studio quality. So that's in there. And while it's doing that, I think also I'm going to remove the background on it. That's background Barry. Give him a click. He's the video removal, background removal to like guru. And then also while that's doing it, I'm going to click crop and maybe the oval. Yeah, the oval works. And then click. So that crop tool is just at the top here. You see that one there? I'm still waiting for the background to be removed. Now, maybe I'll put myself kind of, I don't know, like in here. Wait, come on, background. Get removing. And then once that's done, let me get rid of those instructions. The instructions can be opened and closed from this tab here, by the way. What I also want to do is make sure that my video, which is here in my layer stack, I want to bring it down so that my text is in front. No matter what text I've got, it's in front. Stick myself down there and it will, do you know what? I don't even need to kind of stick around. I'll leave it to do its thing. It will do its thing eventually. Let's just check. See, the enhanced audio has made that so much better. Right, it's still processing the background, which is a little annoying. But anyway, that'll be, I don't want to kind of blocking my eyes, I suppose. I just want to get it into sort of the right position. Once that background's removed, that's going to look a lot better. You could also, oh, there you go. That's perfect. Right, let's see what it's like on the run-up. Yeah, perfect. That's kind of right. The only thing with that is that if you use your playhead, you'll see that I'm kind of on the screen before everything else. So maybe what I'll do is, just like we did in activity one, click it, animation, and just get the fade in. Just whatever is the default is fine. That's a bit better, isn't it? Great. Easy peasy. So in order to do that again, by the way, the remove background, that is a use of AI. I think I said that before, but don't forget that. Then I'll put my playhead next in there, add content, go to media. If you're on the iPad, go straight to media, and you can record yourself again, right? Now, if you're on an iPad, carry on doing the record yourself again. So make sure you've got this box in somewhere, which means you can read all of your text, and just get on with that again. Okay, crop it, just like we did with the last one. So click it. Your crop button is here. Crop it and put it into a sort of the right position. And under your video edit tab, you've got the remove background and enhance speech. So if you're on an iPad, get on with recording yourself, because I'm just going to show how you can also, and there is another way to do this on the iPad, but I wouldn't recommend sort of going around doing this kind of doing the kind of workaround right now. But if you're on a browser, add content, media, animate characters. Now, the only downside to animate characters is that you can't actually see your text. So I'm going to read it off my other tab. I'm going to read it off this one as soon as I press record. So I'm going to be here. Now, I'm going to make sure that my background is transparent. I don't have to mess around with any remove background tools or anything like that. I'm going to make sure enhanced speech is on. In terms of my character, I mean, there is a robot in here somewhere, actually. I think actually that would be cool to keep that theme going. Here you go. Evans or robot or Suzanne or drumbot or keyboard robot. God knows. Evans. Let's do Evans. Now what I'll do is I'll use the corners to make sure that all of him is on screen, because if I decide to not use all of him, that's absolutely fine, but I only get the choice if I put him on screen. Click record. Completely forgotten what scene this is. Get rid of that. Keep your information private. That was the one. Animate characters. Oh, you're ready. Enhance speech on. Record. Don't share your full name, address, phone number, or passwords online. Now, if you're working with someone on the computer next to you, they can also show you the text you've got to read as well while you record yours, and then you can return the favor by looking at their screen while you're recording yours as well. Okay, so this is AI now, because it's listening to your voice and it's thinking, okay, how am I going to sync the voice of Evans the robot in order to match what you're saying? That's what it's doing now. It's listening to the inflections in your voice. It's going to calculate, is he feeling happy, sad? Does he want to shrug his shoulders because it's a question? Is he getting angry? Those kind of things. So all of that sort of artificial intelligence is in there, including the enhanced audio, which is artificial intelligence as well. And there it is. There's Evans the robot. So I think I'm going to pop Evans down there, actually. Maybe make it a bit smaller. Yeah, make it a bit smaller. I think I'll make sure that he's down in the layer stack so that things like private pop in front of his face. That's good. And also behind that other piece of text, don't show your full name. Now with this one, it's kind of getting lost, isn't it, in Evans here? So I've got a couple of options. I can make that box smaller and reduce the size of the text, maybe. There we go, something like that until it comes. Yeah, that's perfect. Like that. And then let's have a little play. See what's going on here. Cool. Right. So I think what I'll do with Evans here is I will maybe I'll just move this ever so slightly, and then I'll go to animation and I'll fade him in, and I think I'll fade him out as well because it's slightly shorter, this clip, this animation clip here. So I think a fade in and fade out on this would work well. Nice. That works well. I like that. Okay. For your last one now, I think what I'll do, just checking the time. Yeah, we've got time to just do one last one now. So for this one, I'll do another. I think I'll do another self-recorded, or maybe I'll just do another voiceover here actually for this one. So what is this? Tell an adult if something feels wrong. There we go. So I'm going to put my playhead where I can read the text here, around about there. And then I'll go to add content or media if you're on the iPad. Click media, audio, record voiceover. How many self-records did I do? None. I did one self-recorded video, one animated character, and I did a voiceover at the start. I'll do a voiceover at the end. Right, enhanced speech is on. Good. Selected the right microphone. Good. Start recording. If you see something scary, mean, or confusing, tell a trusted grown-up. There we go. Don't forget, if your scene goes, if your voiceover is longer than your scene, you might need to just drag that out, but I didn't need to do that. So I'd use the back button there. Is it still enhancing the audio? No, I think it's done. Is that soundtrack too loud? I think it is. I think the soundtrack is too loud. It kicks in quite heavily kind of in the middle. It's around about now. I think it's a little bit loud there. So I'll click on the soundtrack, Chili Village. I'll move that down to 12, I think. That will probably make the difference. Yeah. Nice. There we go. That was easy, wasn't it? Hey, I'll tell you a little trick which we haven't done on a live lesson before as well. Is this is fading in between scenes, but at the end here, it's not fading at all. Now you can choose what you want this to fade to. You can go to add a blank scene, for example, right? Now that blank scene has taken on the background color of the scene before it, which is this purple, right? Your purple ribbon on an iPad is on it purple. Your background color square, which you can change on an iPad, is at the top. Here it's on the left hand side. I'm going to go change it to white. Then I'm going to let's have a look at what is the transition still there. Yeah, and you can see that it's fading to white. So I only want it to fade for like a few seconds, like even a millisecond kind of thing. So what I'm doing is let me increase the size of this. All I'm doing is just making it fade to white at the end, which means I'll fade it to a blank white scene. But I might need to increase the length of my soundtrack, for example. And let's play. There we go. Perfect. Maybe even shorter. Just a real sort of like fade at the end. Yeah, fine. It's a bit aggressive, actually. Let's have a look. Dissolve, duration. Yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit aggressive, but you get the picture. You can always make it a little bit longer. Like that. There we go. That worked out well. So you can, or you can, fade it to black if you want to. Absolutely fine. Yeah, that's maybe a bit better, actually. Bring that in ever so slightly. Right, so what you'll see here is now you had a very kind of static video in activity 1. Don't forget that. You had a very static activity 1 video. And now this is a lot more kind of, it's got voiceover on there. It's then some self-recorded video. I put an animated character in there. And then last but not least, there we go. Back to voiceover. Perfect. Love it. Right. That takes us just about to time, which is absolutely perfect. Let me go back here. Well done, everyone. Don't forget. Oh, let me show actually. Of course, you're going to need to download it potentially. Video resolution 720. Share it too. So you've got a live link going on here. So you can now update that link. So it's got both pieces of work on there, which is good. So you would need to update that link and it will have the 2 activities that you did today. So if you want to update that link, go ahead there. And don't forget, you've got this pages button here. You can go back and you've got video 1, which is kind of more of a static one. Very good for, electronic display boards that you might have in schools, for example. That's a great place for it to go. Don't need any music and stuff like that. You can just keep it, nice and sort of informative for parents and things like that. But this one is actually showcases your voice. So this is kind of a better one to show your kind of personality in there. All right. That is that. Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for coming to Safer Internet Day 2026. Hope you enjoyed those 2 video tasks as ever. If you registered for this session, you'll be getting certificates to give out around about 4 p.m. Or if you haven't, the link is up there, adobe.ly/live lessons. That's where you can register to make sure that you get certificates, which you can send out to your pupils and your students. And also, if you want to get on the next ones as well, we've got a few more Safer Internet Day sessions coming up. We've also got, I've completely forgotten, we've also got Children's Mental Health Week coming up as well. We've got Welsh Language Music Day as well, and there'll be lots more to follow as well. So thanks as ever. Hope that worked out for you. Let me know if you've got any feedback. Teachers, you all have my email. Let me know how the session went today, and I'll see you on the next one. All right. Thanks, everyone, and take care.